Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to our third session for the part stock management, and I hope you guys are pretty eager to learn more and you want to uh, dive a bit deeper. So in today's session I'm gonna make it pretty simple. I'm gonna make you understand the whole logic behind all these spare parts and everything. To keep it as simple, it won't go simpler than that. As a spare part department, our main purpose is to receive the part and sell it as soon as possible. The more we keep it under our stock, the more it affects our holding cost and the more we go under profit. And I will explain you now the holding cost. Because the two main factors that you need to understand is the holding cost and the turnover. If you understand the whole logic behind these two terms, the holding cost and the turnover, you will start to understand the whole point of this management, about forecasting, about stocking, why it is important to stock only fast moving items, okay, some slow moving items, but they should not stay longer in the inventory because it's gonna sooner or later start affecting us. So let's start with holding cost. What is holding cost? When we receive any spare part in our warehouse, we stock it, right? So when you're having an inventory, that means you're owning a warehouse, so there is rent for the warehouse. So there is rent. This is the first thing. So you're already paying for the stuff that you haven't even made profit on. You spent 1000 reals, for example. You have 1000 real worth of inventory in your warehouse right now. You haven't sold anything and you're already paying a rent. Now the way these big companies work, there's insurance involved. So our next point is insurance. So you're paying rent and you're paying insurance on the parts that have not been sold yet. Okay, what could be the next thing? Next thing could be the security, for example. You need to secure your parts. So maybe it's the security system, maybe it's the security person, maybe it's the cameras. Now how these things work? Oh, it's just a camera you put one time, that's it, it should serve the purpose. But where did the money come from? Oh, the money came from the finance department, they approved it. Okay, so they're just gonna give you the money and forget about it? No, they're gonna charge you. They're not gonna charge you at once, but monthly. Maybe they're gonna charge you. For example, if the value of was 12,000, the whole cost of implying the security system, so each month they're gonna cut 1,000. So they complete 12,000 reals in the course of 1 year. So they're gonna charge you. So you haven't sold anything yet, and you're already going under with the rent, with the insurance, and with the security. It could be a person, the salary of the person, or could be the system. That's three. The fourth one is the shrinkage. Now what's shrinkage? Parts don't shrink. Are you mad? It's not a shirt, we're not gonna wash it and it's gonna shrink. No, Salman, what's wrong with you? The shrinkage is the term that we used for the parts getting expired or damaged. Over the course of time, some parts are gonna get expired, some parts are gonna get damaged if they stay long in the inventory. So the big companies use this term shrinkage, where they need to get rid of these spare parts which are expired or damaged. They write them off. It's the same like obsolete. It's not exactly the same, but obsolescence items is the same thing. Obsolescence, if the part is being in the shelf for so long that there is no more demand even for that. But for example, the part that belongs to a car 221 S class, and it was been in our stock for so long that now there's a new model out there, and this part is not used in the new model. It was only for the previous models, and now there is no market for that part anymore. So that part is gonna stay in your warehouse. It's gonna keep charging you because this amount is still in your warehouse. It haven't been sold. So as long as it's not sold, it's not giving you profit, your amount is bound and some plates is locked, you cannot use it. So you had to get rid of it, write it off, do something to remove it from your inventory. So these are the overall holding costs, how it works. Now, if the 100,000 is bound in your inventory, it's not been sold, and you're already paying rent, insurance, security, shrinkage, obsolete, all these things are happening. You could have used not 1,000 reals, maybe 100 real, and you have purchased a different item and could have sold it with a profit of 10 each. You bought 10 items for 100 reals, and then you sold each one with a profit of 10. So you could have achieved a 100 real profit on this 100 real instead of keeping 1,000 in your inventory. So as long as the parts that you bring in your inventory are not sold, it's costing you. That's called the holding cost, as very clear by its name, holding cost. The more you hold, it's the cost is in your inventory. So our aim as a spare part business is to get the part and sell it as soon as possible. Now when this thing comes, that's called the turnover. The rate of selling of the part is called the turnover. Let's discuss turnover.